Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to explore one of the most important life support systems of the human body, the respiratory system. Have you ever thought about this? You can survive only a few minutes without oxygen, so take a deep breath, and let's begin. What is respiration? Respiration is the biological process by which living organisms take in oxygen, break down food to release energy, and give out carbon dioxide. Respiration occurs in two major stages. 1. External respiration. This involves breathing in oxygen from the atmosphere, breathing out carbon dioxide. This is carried out by the respiratory system. 2. Internal respiration. Cellular respiration. Oxygen is used inside the cells. Food, like glucose, is oxidized. Energy is released in the form of ATP. Remember, breathing is a physical process, but respiration is a biochemical process. Types of respiration. Aerobic respiration occurs in the presence of oxygen, produces more energy. End products: carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Anaerobic respiration occurs without oxygen, produces less energy. End products: lactic acid in humans. During heavy exercise, when oxygen supply is insufficient, muscles perform anaerobic respiration. Human Respiratory System overview. The human respiratory system is a network of organs responsible for breathing, gas exchange, supplying oxygen to the blood. It can be divided into upper respiratory tract, nose, nasal cavity, pharynx, lower respiratory tract, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, lungs. Let's now study each part in detail. Nose and nasal cavity. The nose is the external opening of the respiratory system. Functions of the nose: air passage, allows air to enter. Filtration, nasal hairs trap dust and microbes. Moistening, mucus moistens dry air. Warming, blood capillaries warm the air. Inside the nose is the nasal cavity, lined with ciliated epithelium, mucus-secreting glands. This ensures that air reaching the lungs is clean, warm, and moist. The pharynx is a muscular tube that serves as a common passage for air, respiratory system, food, digestive system. It connects nasal cavity right pointing arrow larynx. During swallowing, the epiglottis closes the windpipe, prevents food from entering the trachea. The larynx is also known as the voice box. Functions: passage of air, sound production. It contains vocal cords, cartilaginous structures. When air passes through the vocal cords, vibrations produce sound. The opening of the larynx is called the glottis. Trachea, windpipe. The trachea is a straight tube that connects larynx to bronchi. Key features: supported by C-shaped cartilaginous rings. Rings prevent collapse of the trachea. Inner lining has cilia and mucus. Cilia move trapped dust upward, which is then swallowed or coughed out. Bronchi and bronchioles. The trachea divides into two branches called bronchi, right bronchus, left bronchus. Each bronchus enters a lung and further divides into secondary bronchi, bronchioles. Bronchioles are thin and narrow. End in alveolar ducts. Lungs. Humans have two lungs, right lung 3 lobes, left lung 2 lobes, space for heart. The lungs are soft, spongy, elastic. They are covered by a double-layered membrane called the pleura. Pleural fluid reduces friction during breathing. Mechanism of breathing. Breathing occurs in 2 phases. Inhalation, inspiration, diaphragm contracts and moves downward. Ribs move upward and outward. Chest cavity volume increases. Air pressure inside lungs decreases. Air enters the lungs. Exhalation, expiration, diaphragm relaxes and moves upward. Ribs move downward and inward. Chest cavity volume decreases. Air pressure inside lungs increases. Air moves out. Transport of gases. Transport of oxygen. Oxygen binds with hemoglobin, forms oxyhemoglobin, transported from lungs to tissues. Transport of carbon dioxide, as bicarbonate ions, 70%. Bound to hemoglobin, 20%. Dissolved in plasma, 10%. Regulation of respiration. Breathing is controlled by respiratory center in the medulla oblongata. Disorders of the respiratory system. 1. Asthma. Narrowing of airways causes difficulty in breathing. 2. Bronchitis. Inflammation of bronchi. 3. Pneumonia. Infection of alveoli. 4. Tuberculosis, TB, caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Let's quickly revise. The human respiratory system keeps us alive by supplying oxygen and removing carbon dioxide, every breath supporting every cell of our body. If you found this video helpful, like, share, subscribe, Thank you for watching.